Welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 28 Weeks Later, which was directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadello. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Erik, and with us again is Justin Welikson, the other co-host of Fresh Film Fridays. Welcome back to the show, Justin.
Oh, I'm Erik. Yeah, no, it's me. It's Justin.
Every time we do that. Yes.
He does do that a lot.
Alec's confused. He's like, who's the real Erik?
I don't even know. Yeah.
I can't tell. Do you want me to do it first? I'm Erik.
Oh, I'm Erik.
Fuck.
Who was who there?
Well, you said you were doing it first, Erik, so I think you were first, but I honestly can't tell.
Well, you figured that one out. Good for you.
That's tough, dude. That's tough.
So, do we want to explain why we're doing 28 weeks later and not 28 days later?
Yeah, I did on the last episode, but I'll do it again now. Yeah, basically, the rights issues, I don't know, it's the same thing with The Entity. Like, we're like, hey, we definitely want to cover this, and then we go to find it, and we can't find it anywhere. You can't watch it literally anywhere.
This happened with the others, if you remember.
Oh, right.
We had to watch it on 1, 2, 3 movies. I don't know. It's so crazy how in almost 2023, there are certain movies that you have to, like, own physical copies of.
Well, especially, like, very popular movies.
It must be in between rights right now or something.
Well, I feel like
something's probably being bought right now, like with 20th Century Fox and Disney Plus and whatnot. Because I tried to find the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie like earlier this week, because I just really wanted to watch after the Jason David Frank news and couldn't find it. Can't find it anywhere. I thought Disney Plus would have it because they got 20th Century Fox, and that's so I don't know. I'm not like it's above my pay grade with these rights. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that's why the old Disney CEO came back, Erik, because he's like, we need more Power Rangers.
Well, it's so weird though, because like 28 Weeks Later is on Hulu, which Disney owns Hulu, but 28 Days isn't, and they're all owned by Disney. So nothing. Yeah,
maybe it's a Cillian Murphy issue. They're like, Cillian, people want to be able to stream, and he's like, no.
Well, speaking of Cillian Murphy, I will say this. The latest news on if there's going to be a 28 months later is in 2020 and 2021. Imogen Poots and Cillian Murphy stated they would both be interested in reprising their roles. So
they should wait till 2028.
No, they shouldn't. That's too long.
No, they should just do it. That's way too far.
Well, we're getting to the point. It's going to be 28 years later is going to make more sense. I mean, we're really getting there. It's been, 15 years since this one came out?
Yeah, they might as well jump ahead and say 28. Like, why not?
Yeah. I've seen this movie so many times, but what about you guys? What is your experiences with this franchise, this movie specifically?
Erik?
Well, I'll start by saying 28 Days Later I have seen. I don't remember it as well because I've only seen it once. This movie, this is my third time seeing 28 Weeks. I believe the first time I saw it was with you, Alec, and I freaking loved it. I remember we were getting so pumped at the opening scene, which is amazing. But it's been about, I feel like 15 years since I've seen it. It's been a while.
What?
So, yeah, probably around 15 years since I've seen 28 Weeks. So, yeah, and it still holds up. It really does. There's some things in it where you're like, okay, but dude, it's a great movie.
Yeah, what about you, Justin?
I mean, it hasn't been that long. I've seen it probably a few years ago. I like both of them. If I had to pick, I like 28 Days Later more just because I think the story is better, and I think some of the shots, there's different directors, by the way, which I don't like when movies do that with sequels, but some of the shots of the first one, I mean, just the concept of waking up in a hospital and, like, literally there's just no one, especially in London, like, you don't hear cars, you don't hear, like, mopeds, nothing, you don't see anyone, and the shots they had where they were, like, panoramic of him walking and Big Ben's in the background and just there's nothing, it's fantastic.
In 28 days.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I do want to talk about that opening scene in a minute too. Just my brief history with this as well. Yeah, same thing. My dad showed me the first one. He's like, "This is such a good movie," and we were 13 when it came out, and I loved it. And I remember he took me to see this one in Florida. I was down in Florida for something, and we went and saw it, and I was like, that movie's so good. I had such a crush on Imogen Poots. I was like, I'm in love with her. And then I remember I went back to work at Hoyt's, and we had the poster. So I still, to this day, have the 28 Weeks Later poster it says like quarantine, and it's got like the silhouette of a guy with a gas mask on and a gun.
That's sick.
Bought the DVD, dude. I love this movie.
Is it a legit theatrical double-sided poster,
It is.
which goes in a light box, dude? You should hold on to that.
I have
that
it.
Could be worth something someday. That's awesome.
Hunter and I put it up in our apartment during the pandemic. It was like quarantine sort of thing.
Nice.
But yeah, to your point though, Justin, rewatching it this time, remembering 28 Days Later, I was like, you know what? I think the plot is better in 28 Days Later. This one's super good, but I think like they're just different. That's more of like coming into an already crazy pandemic, and this one's like the start of another pandemic. So there's just two different sides of it, I guess.
This one is at the end of the pandemic, and it kicks up again, which is such a cool idea. Well, no, it's not. It kicks up again, and they kind of like do at the end. It's like this is 28 weeks later again, and what is it's a good idea. It really is. It's a great sequel.
Yeah, and it's cool because even at the end of this movie, they do 28 Days Later, and they show,
exactly. They like
Yeah, it's not that this one is bad at all. It's just that the original was just so good. Not only is it one of my favorite zombie movies, but just favorite movies in general.
Yeah. Well, rage zombies are where it's at, Justin. We're all about rage zombies. Like the slow zombies, like Night of the Living Dead, sure. Walking Dead, it gets old. The rage zombies, it just does it for me. It just does it.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about these zombies. Like these guys are like zombies on steroids because slow zombies that walk is one thing. Even running zombies is one thing. But dude, you can't even board up your windows because they were literally punching through the wooden boards and just like breaking the walls down. There's nothing you can do.
Well, to be fair, these aren't really zombies. These are kind of like rabies-infested humans, kind of.
Right.
Don't be that guy.
No, he's right. It's not really a zombie. They're not dead. They get infected.
Yeah, and then they become, because they can starve to death. I don't think zombies can starve to death, because they say that it only took them 5 weeks for people to starve to death. I was like, and like also like, what if there's like a super duper fat zombie who has like, no, but seriously, like, what if a guy gets bit and he's like 350 pounds or whatever? Like, he could probably survive for 5 weeks off his own body fat, you know?
I do like, obviously, Jeremy Renner in this. I thought he was great. Rose.
Hell yeah.
Byron? I don't know how to say it. She was great. Harold from Lost. We got Harold from Lost in there. And I completely forgot Idris Elba was in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Completely forgot he was in this movie. I remember, the Brad Smith.
We just did prom night a couple months ago, and it's so funny. This came out right before prom night, and Idris Elba's in both of those. You're like, what was his agents doing? They're like, you want to do horror, Idris? He's like, not really.
Yeah. He was in a lot more than I remember.
Yeah. And then, Jeremy Renner, he grew up right here.
Can you do your impression? Like, do it for real.
You grew up right here.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Who else was in it that was oh my god, dude, Harold from Lost, when he was just like, where's Doyle? I was like, where's Walt? Like,
I just love the scene at the end with him with the helicopter. He's like, I'm not fucking taking these people. Like, well, I thought the same thing when there was a bunch of people and they're like, we had a helicopter, and I'm like, well, Alec, helicopters can only hold so much weight, and there was like 8 people with them. I'm like, a lot of these people are gonna die, hopefully. But there's that one guy who like grabs onto the helicopter.
Right.
I love that scene because it's like, okay, so that happens and the helicopter goes like berserk, but then you mow down like a whole, like it's like, and the helicopter's fine. Oh my god, it was
wildly
insane.
Unrealistic. Like if he mistimed that and he like 3 inches too forward and hit a rock, it would have been like,
of anything. Done.
Oh, if it hit the ground, the whole thing's gonna explode.
Or if it hit like a little bit like too thick of a tree, or like just gone, done.
So, as much as I like this movie, there was one single thing that really bothered me throughout it that I thought was really stupid.
What?
The way the prisoner was locked up. So I'm picturing myself like they're in England. They get this one opportunity, this miracle opportunity where there's no zombies.
Wait, which prisoner? Which prisoner? What are you talking about?
The mom? Yeah.
Okay.
The mom, yeah.
They have this opportunity to rebuild civilization. And then they find this woman who's a carrier, who's both, right? Like she wasn't a zombie, but she wasn't like really all there. And 1, they tie her up. Probably should have tied her up a little more. 2, they should have put something over her mouth, right?
Yeah.
But here's the biggest issue I have. If this one person, who's probably the most important person on the planet at this time, 0 guards guarding the room, number one. They should have had like 6 dudes with fully automatic weapons guarding that door. And number 2, I understand that British dude has like access to the base, but you're telling me the general didn't authorize like certain key cards to not enter that room?
He says that at the beginning of the movie. He says, I have all access everywhere. Somehow, after living in a barn, I all of a sudden have all this access.
That's
And like there weren't cameras or any alarms where Idris was like, wait a minute, why is that door open?
Well, here's even more, Justin. So they even say to that guy, it's like, yeah, by the way, your kids are back and your wife. So they know that that's his wife. So maybe they should remove his access to have all full access to every door.
Yes.
They know that's his wife. They know, hey, maybe he's going to be in there.
Guys.
And
What year is this? 2005?
7.
You're talking about a post-COVID like world right now. Like obviously we wear masks now, and obviously the mom would be wearing a mask, Justin. But we didn't know that in 2005.
And then like he knows she's infected, and he goes up and he didn't like peck her. He's like, I missed you. He was like sucking on her tongue, like, oh baby, like exchanging saliva. And I'm like,
we saw some saliva.
What did you think was gonna happen?
Give me that wee little tongue. It goes, no, dude. Well, all right. Let's kind of like work into this a little bit because we jumped over the whole beginning of the movie. So yeah, so that is ridiculous how we get to that part. That's how the outbreak starts. But even before that, it starts off with the British guy from Full Monty, who's basically just British, Nomar Garcia Parra. What's his name?
Is that the same? It looks like the same guy from Dawn of the Dead. Is it him too?
It's not him.
He looks like Nomar Garcia Parra. You're right. Oh my god.
But anyways, so that guy, the lead guy, Don, him and his wife are in this cottage or whatever, a wee little cottage, and they're in there eating like spaghetti, and they're living with a bunch of random people. Zombies break in, little kid breaks in. He's like knocking on the door, some little kid, so the mom lets him in. Would you let the kid in? What would you guys do?
I mean, I would let him in and then immediately check his body for bites. They were just like, come sit down. It's like,
have some spaghetti. Don't use a fork.
I think I'd be like, sit down at the door. Let's talk. What's going on? Are you getting chased right now? Are they right behind you? Like, dude, you got to be careful in this world.
This kid's panic running through the town, right? Mm-hmm. Why did he knock on that door?
He said he tried a bunch.
Yeah, but he was really persistent on this one house that happened to have people.
It's a good point, Justin.
Maybe because they were cooking. Maybe he could smell the food.
Probably. Ooh, wow. Good.
He's running for his life, and he's just like, pasta.
Well, dude, you saw how he eats it. You see how he eats the pasta. If you smell pasta, you're starving. I'll smell.
And it's been at least a few weeks where this kid hasn't like smelled like real good food in a while. He's probably been eating like canned beans and shit. So he smells actual food. He's like, what?
He's eating Chef Boyardee with his hands.
He's running by, and he's just like, is that some fucking ragu?
I smell me some pasta, I do. He goes
Hello,
over.
sir.
He's like, please, sir, may I have some more spaghetti? But he's eating it with his hands or whatever. So, all right, so you guys let him in. First of all, it seems like everybody in that house hates each other. They're like, your stupid boyfriend's fucking dead, or whatever. They're like all arguing. But the little kid comes in, ruins everything. So the zombies do follow the kid. The kid breaks into the house, and then Don is like, we need to leave. And his wife is like, I'm going to sacrifice myself and you for this kid we just met. I'm on Team Don, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
what are you saying? You're Team Don?
Yeah, I kind of am, dude.
I mean, in that situation, Alec, and like Justin, we both have kids. You got to think for the kids too. It's like, okay, I'm still going to fight for my kids that I hope are still alive.
Right.
And
you
made the decision to choose another kid that's not our kid.
Right.
And put yourself in a situation where we are 99.9% going to get bit. She does get bit. If he stuck around, there's no question he would have been bit and killed. So he should have had a conversation with his wife. Like, if a kid comes knocking on the door, what do? We say, what's going on, kid? And the zombies get him. It's like, well, he shouldn't have been chased by zombies. Like, we tried.
It's like, what do we say?
Yeah.
It's, fuck that kid. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
We have kids of our own. And that's not a selfish thing to say. Like,
Eric, I am on Team Don. I was like, why would you're going to orphan your kids? You're both going to die for this kid? No. So I'm Team Don.
gonna eat all our food. He's gonna drink all our wine. Get him out of here. No.
Yeah. So anyway, so the zombies do kill every single person in that house. Don leaves his wife and this little kid and runs away. And he finds that Jacob guy or whatever. Like, he's like, Jacob! And he runs. He's like, oh, fuck. And the zombies are chasing him, which is one of the coolest shots of like any movie ever, is when he's running from the house, dude, and they're like,
music's great. Music's great. Yeah.
So well shot.
But it's so out of focus, the things like coming over the hill, like the zombies, not zombies, the rage.
I love that though. You don't like that?
I love that shot.
Yeah.
That shot is so dream sequencing, like it's scary. It's like you have moments to get out of here, and you're thinking this guy probably can run for maybe 2 miles this fast, and then you see the boat, and it's like, oh shit, and then it amps up again.
And then Jacob's like, he's like, dude, you fucked me. He's like, I found this boat. I was getting ready to.
No, I felt so bad for Jacob. He tried. He's like, oh, Jacob, I really screwed that one. That's when I'm not Teen Dom. But,
yeah, Dom's just like, fuck, I really fucked over a lot of people today. He's like, holy crap.
His wife did. His wife really did. Honestly, that's how I see it.
Okay. Yeah. No. So anyway, so Don then somehow gets back to London. So this river must be connected to the River Thames or whatever, which is in London. He gets to London and then is made like the supervisor of this building in the quarantine zone. Little strange. Don't get any explanation, but sure. Also, as far as we know, this disease has not spread anywhere past England, right?
Yeah. Well, it's an island, so the idea. I mean, UK is an island.
No, but it hasn't gotten anywhere else as far as we know, right?
Well, you got to think like planes and stuff, but which is the end of the movie. But yeah, no, the U.S. comes in to help, and it's probably like picture this like quarantined island. That's what it is.
Right. So I was thinking about this though, because there's no reason they never once say that it's anywhere else besides England and the UK or whatever. Dude, does that mean like British people are just like extinct basically in this world?
I mean, I guess so. But
right?
And then at the end of it, with it being the Eiffel Tower, I'm assuming the kid did something.
Can I have a sip of your Sprite?
Dude, exactly. Like, I'm picturing him, like, drinking a Dasani, and someone's like, I'm a bit parched. And then he gets some backwash, and he's just like, rah!
That's probably what happened.
This one kid just took down all of Europe.
Right. Well, that's the final shot of the movie is France is now infected.
So it made it to Europe, which means the world at that point.
Well, I mean,
it's in inland Europe at that point. Yeah,
the world's much more screwed over than it would have been if it was just contained on England. Yeah,
which I think is the idea of the movie. But well, do you know what they say, man? 28 weeks to flatten the curve. So yeah. they should have stuck it out and they blew it.
I was thinking about you, Justin. Like, how excited were you when like America came in to like fix the problem? Just like, I bet Justin's like, yeah, goddamn right, we did.
Well, dude, it was funny just because like you have the female scientist lady who's the head like chief medicine on the infection, and you got the Idris Elba as the general, and just he was just like so confident. He's like, it's not coming back, and she's like, yeah, but what if it does? And he's like, it's not, and she's like, but what if it does? I'm like, you guys should really like have there was no fail safe. The fail safe was we're gonna blow London up, but then they used the gas that also killed the zombies. So I was thinking, instead of incinerating everyone, why didn't you have everyone get inside and just drop the gas to kill the zombies? That's
a good point, but even better point. Ready for this? Why weren't they testing these people before they even came over here? They're testing everybody as they've landed already. They're like, like the scene where Rose Byrne, the doctor you're talking about, she's like, we're taking children. I didn't say we could take children. Then she does the test on them, like, doing the eye scan and all that stuff. Why wouldn't they have done that before they got to England?
I mean, it's like COVID. When you land at your destination, they're like, all right, we're just going to shove this up your nose into your brain.
I mean, this is a little different COVID. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. So that was something I thought was weird. It was like, they wouldn't, I didn't think they would test for something like that.
Well, I think that the way I see it, like outside perspective, is the world is really trying to save the UK and say they really have to wait it out, like a year, 2 years. I don't even know how long technically until they find a vaccine, which is what the Rose Byrne character is trying to figure out, the vaccine. So until they have that, like UK is like on the brink of like, hey, if something happens bad, code red, we're nuking you, and that's it. So it's like that's where the world is looking at the UK right now, I think. if I had to imagine, but it isn't. They're still trying, and that's their fault, is that they tried just an inch too far when really they should have just said, hey, this thing could really get to the rest of the world. You guys are at a population right now of like, what, 10,000? Like, just you gotta call it. It's a terrible thing and decision to make, but I don't know.
I mean, they were trying to assimilate people back into rebuilding England and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it came back. It came back, and I was like, well, that was a nice try.
I mean, it's all Imogen Poots and the little kids' fault. It's 100% their fault. They went back and they found their mom.
Justin's right about the mom. Like, come on, you should have like many armored guys guarding her, face masks, like full on, like, yeah, exactly. She was in straps and just breathing, and like they even said too, she was a carrier, but she wasn't. In fact, like, it's like, so you know that she could spread this.
Yeah, Idris Elba has that command center. You're telling me there's not a camera on her where someone was like, General, someone's walking in. But one of the coolest scenes in this film was when the snipers were trying to hit all the zombies, and you just see, like...
I love that scene.
The camera was just rapidly going from gun to gun to gun, and then when they changed to humans, they're just, like, ripping through people.
Yeah, well, wait, so, and they were just killing everyone. They weren't just killing zombies, right? Or rage zombies.
At first, it was zombies, and then they were like, we gotta kill the people because they're turning too quickly.
And that's why Renner abandoned his post, because he's like, this is a lost cause. Like, I'm just killing everything.
And then they have that one, like, dramatic question later where Rose Byrne's like, you never answered my question. And he's like, what's that? It's like, why'd you leave your post? And I was like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Just talk like a normal person.
Come on. We're in, it's crazy. It's martial law out here.
Jeremy Renner, though, yeah, this was, like, kind of the first thing I'd ever really seen him in, I think. Like, big movie.
Wasn't Hurt Locker around then?
He aged like a fine wine, dude.
No, Hurt Locker came out after this, dude.
Sorry, you're gonna just go over that? Like, just...
No, he asked the Hurt Locker thing first. No, sorry. Hurt Locker came out the next year. Has Jeremy Renner aged well? I haven't seen him recently.
Yeah, dude. He's Hawkeye.
I haven't seen Hawkeye. I don't know.
He looks the same, except a little, like, more rugged, and it works. He looks good.
Oh, technically, he was in SWAT in 2003. That was probably his biggest.
SWAT was his biggest?
His first big movie, you mean?
Yeah.
The Town, dude. That's all I think about.
Well, The Town came out in 2010, so, like, I feel like when this movie came out, it was just like boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. It was this, then The Hurt Locker, then The Town. It was just like, and then all those Mission Impossible movies, and now those MCU shit. So, like, yeah.
Well, he got Hawkeye because of this movie. He's literally Hawkeye in this movie with a sniper rifle. It's clear as day. Like, that's why Marvel got him.
Yeah. I just like that line where he walks over, he's like, you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So there's a couple moments.
Bro, when he dies, though,
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I forgot that's how he went out, but dude, I was just thinking, like, when he was walking through the streets trying to get those people out of there and the snipers were shooting at them, like, I was just like, why don't you just turn your walkie on and be like, hey, dude, it's me. Like, can you not kill me? And they'd be like, all right.
Why? That's another thing. Like, why doesn't he radio in, or at least have his helicopter guy, if his radio's not working, like, hey, radio in and tell them, like, I'm still out here. I have probably the last hope we have up for a vaccine. But none of that happened, and I'm sure they would hunt them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that sucks, because he, like, gets out of the car, and he's like, I'll meet you there. And it's like, okay. And then the little kid, after, like, he gets caught on fire, it's like, I don't think he's going to meet us there. It's like, no, he's not going to meet us there. I was waiting for that.
It was traumatizing.
Question for you guys. At the end of the movie, when they get in, like, that Volvo, and they're driving off, right?
Yeah. They're
driving real fast. How does the dad end up in the tunnel when they get to the tunnel, if they're going like 80 kilometers per hour or whatever it is, and they end up there and he's just like there?
Okay. I have a theory about the dad, and I want to see what you guys think. So clearly, if you're infected with the rage, you're not stupid, but you're like you're like an animal. You're just thinking like, I need to kill, I need to eat or whatever. You're not like thinking logically. Now, however, the dad was bitten by a hybrid zombie. Okay, so it's like a half human, half zombie woman, because she's like immune but can still spread it, but she's not like crazy like a zombie. So I think He's smart like a human, but acts like a zombie.
So that's why he like recognizes his daughter at the end.
Yeah.
That's fine, but how I'm talking about like physics. How did he get here that quickly?
Okay. So then this is the other thing. So
like he got an Uber.
no, like your brain is just thinking like, I need to fucking get them. I need to get them. And you're not thinking about like the pain of your legs or anything, or like water or anything like that. You're just thinking, I gotta get there, and that's it. His body was just chasing them.
He was sprinting 80 miles an hour.
Not 80 miles an hour, but like I don't know. I'm trying to fill in the blanks here.
It's like he has this Popeye spinach, but it's like beans and toast, and he just
Dude, I was laughing so hard. I can picture Erik laughing at this. I was audibly laughing at the scene where they were going into the train station and Rose is looking through the night vision scope on the gun, and like she wasn't giving any heads up. Like I feel like I'd be much calmer.
That was horrible.
Like if Alec was in front of me, I'd be like, "All right, Alec, step slightly to your right. There's a body to your left." She would just freak out and be like, "Oh my god, stop, don't stop there, don't stop there!" Like, the entire time.
Yeah, I mean they were just freaking out because it was pitch black, and she has this.
But she can see. Why is she yelling?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. She was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And then they tumbled down the escalator. They would have cracked their skulls.
That sucked. Yeah, and then like they were gone. They weren't even at the bottom. It's like, did you just get up and run away?
Dude, that's another thing, Alec. So they're all within this vicinity, right? They're all within the little train area, and they're screaming. They're like, "Andy and Emo again," and no one's answering back. They're all right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, one more thing. Do you think the dad got into the tube, right, Alec? It's the tube.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Do you think he got in the tube and it's just like it's so much better connected than the streets, and that's why he got there?
That could be Justin.
Are zombies reading fucking directions?
I mean, we're feeling like, yeah, he basically becomes like the deep blue sea shark again. Like he's smarter, he's faster.
Deep blue sea zombie.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, dude.
we bring up Deep Blue Sea in every episode. We just brought it up with Gremlins too.
Oh, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
We literally brought up Deep Blue Sea again. Oh my god.
Yeah, but they were literally they had to have been within 10, 20 feet of each other, and they're like, "Scarlet, Tammy," and no one's answering, and I'm like, I know you guys can hear her. Like, what? Why aren't you answering?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got some holes.
She didn't do a good job giving directions. Like, it's like, all right, there's bodies everywhere.
I mean,
so what we're gonna do is go against the wall. We're gonna hold hands too. That's what you do too.
Dude, when they were tumbling down the escalator, and they're like, "Ugh."
Snap her neck. Like, there it goes.
Dude, that was so...
Imagine that, the kid with the vaccine just snapped his neck. It's like, oh shit. Like,
God damn it. Well, I mean, clearly he dies at the end. I mean, we're assuming, so I don't know.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe he didn't die.
I mean, it's true. We never do see him die, but it clearly spreads somehow. So unless he did share a Sprite or something with somebody, like, yeah, we don't know. But two things I just want to bring up. So this movie, the first one, 28 Days Later, came out in 2002 or 2003. I think 2003. So anyways, so that movie's it's the same thing as The Walking Dead, you know, where he comes out of like the hospital sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Walking Dead comic also came out in 2003. So everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Walking Dead ripped this off." So I'm always like, I wonder
yeah, 2002.
The movie did.
28 Days Later, yeah.
Okay. So all right. So 28 Days Later, yeah, they came up with the hospital idea.
Well, yeah, but the zombies are they're not even, like you said, Alec, they're not zombies in this movie. And in Walking Dead, they're very slow.
There's zombies in The Walking Dead.
There's actual zombies in The Walking Dead.
Right,
so
right.
It is like almost like, I kind of like this more in some ways.
It's more realistic.
Realistic? Yeah, exactly.
What did he do, Justin? He had sex with a monkey in the first one?
What?
It was a monkey thing, right? It was like an ape. It wasn't an ape thing?
What are you saying?
How did it start? How did this disease start?
They were testing apes and stuff. I remember like something with monkeys, though. I really do mean that.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure a monkey, has something to do with in the beginning. Anyways.
So the first one, 28 Days Later, got a 7.5 out of 10. And I found this fact interesting. They only had an $8 million budget, and it got just about 85 million worldwide. Whereas 28 Weeks Later got a 6.9, and their budget was twice as much. They had a 15 million budget, and they only made 65. So they made about 20 million less and spent about 8 more.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's grounds for a third sequel, though.
I know.
It made money. It made tons of money. It made what you said. So it cost 15 million to make, but still made 60. That's like,
they made 50 million profit. Yeah.
that's a good profit for a movie like this. So
Yeah, and they also said they were going to make one if the DVDs did well, and I'm assuming, like, I don't know, probably did pretty good.
Is there like Walmart bin versions of this movie? Have they done that?
There's no sequel to this.
Really? Great. Hey, I mean, I think that's a possibility in the near future.
This movie deserves a sequel. This really does.
I think so. I think if you were to focus on the first one, and make a sequel of the first one like a 28 months or 28 years later, but then bring in parts of the second one, but not overdo the second one, I think you could do good.
You know what they should do? They should do a C movie version of it where it's 2,800 years later, and it just opens where it's like,
I like it, Justin. I love it.
2,800 years later, space travel was invented, and now zombies on the moon. And it's just like a moon base where zombies break out.
Like totally like different scenario. I freaking love it.
And like in the beginning, they're like in 2600. It's like Jesus actually came back.
And the world is running out of gasoline, and gasoline's like currency.
Well, there's going to be a super scientific research base on the moon, and they're like, we have to be far away just in case something happens. And it's going to end where the carrier is actually a space pilot, and he gets in a ship, and then it just cuts. Boom. Boom.
Love it.
I like it. Can I give you my quick little sequel idea?
Yeah.
Same concept where it's like 100 years later almost, and the population has been like cut into like there's an eighth of the population there used to be, and it's like building back, and it's kind of like The Thing where it's like someone was thawed in ice, and they got infected with like a. Because did you hear about this shit all the time in the news where they like find stuff like Antarctica like bacteria that's been frozen for 200,000 years? It's like, well, maybe we shouldn't fucking play with that. That's just my 2 cents, but something like that, and like it comes back after being like thawed out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So 6.9 out of 10. What would you guys give it?
Oh, dude, this is like a 7.8 for me. 7.8.
I'd say 7.8. I'm exactly with Alec on that. 7.8.
Yeah, I was gonna do 7.5. Erik, a good follow up to that sequel would be they're thawing out this fucking dude, and it's that little kid.
the kid that like is still the vaccine, but he's still the carrier.
It's the little kid. He's got different colored pupils, and they're doing a cotton swab test on his saliva. And then as they're carrying the swab to a little petri dish, a drop of saliva goes into the person's Poland Spring bottle, and they drink it, and they boom.
Boom, done.
Poland Spring. What year is this? They still have Poland Spring bottles?
This is 2,800 years later.
Okay. I'm just imagining this kid is like in a fossil, like from Jurassic Park, where they find the mosquito and they're like taking blood samples out of like.
Exactly.
He's like frozen in that. It's like sap or whatever. Anyways, all right. Well, Erik, what do you say he's been real?
Well, I think we should. And spinning. I have no idea what this movie is. Student Bodies.
Yeah, I don't know what this is either. Justin, you put it on here.
Yeah, the podcast that I was a guest on, Veterans with Benefits, suggested this. He said it's great, so.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Why not? It's brand new. I mean, hey, I love Dog Soldiers. That was cool.
I love Dog Soldiers. Yeah, so let's do it.
Well, Justin, thanks for joining us on Wheel of Horror. It's been a while. You haven't been on it since October.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back.
Gotta get you back. Get you back here.
Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening in, and we will see you all next week with Student Bodies.
Woo!